Yeah, I mean, they got the team uh, north of London. When he said he wanted to go to the middle of nowhere, he wasn't kidding around, really. They're in like an old castle type place that's been turned into a hotel, and
Okay.
they don't even have all the team personnel in the same place. It's the coaches and the players and some other key folks in one hotel, and then the rest of the traveling party elsewhere. So
Wow.
when Sean Payton said he was gonna take an all business approach, he's done just that. But they're practicing at Tottenham's, the Premier League team's training facility, and that's fairly palatial. So they did all right in the battle of the teams practice facilities, because I can't imagine the Jets have something better than what the Broncos have at Tottenham. It
How
was
far?
immaculate.
How far is the training facility from where they're staying?
I think about a half hour, 40
Okay.
minutes. So,
Right. Wow, Sean was really dedicated to be in the middle of nowhere. He wasn't lying about
Yeah.
that
How
one.
far is your room from the closest pub and room temperature Guinness?
across the street, so it wouldn't be far.
You look like you got your I'm going out in a minute clothes on.
That's not correct. No, I'm still, apparently this whole time change thing means I'm still on deadline. So I still got some things to do.
Oh, there you go. Hey, when you look at this game, D-Mac broke down the Jets a while ago. What do you see from the Jets? Is there really any way that the Denver Broncos should or could lose to the Jets?
Scotty, I think it's always turnovers. Your quarterback throws a couple early picks. Any of that stuff is what gets you in trouble against a team that hasn't done well. So, I think that's the one thing that gets you. And Aaron Glenn is a respected def- so I think that too is, you just hope they don't put together a not lucky, but an opportune play, or a red zone turnover, so they get two short fields and they get 10 points they didn't really earn. I think that's the only thing that gets the Broncos in trouble with this one, because they've been pretty focused, at least today. The practice looked very, very much like a normal practice. You didn't see a team that had traveled or was sluggish in any way.
What do you make about how Justin Fields has been playing at quarterback this year?
Well, I mean, some people in the league think part of that's, Tyler, the structure of what's around him, that this is a rebuilding team that maybe folks got a little too excited for, talking about it before the season started. But I don't know anyone in the league who believes their talent level is where it's going to need to be. And, Fields has the same problem the other quarterbacks did. When you take Garrett Wilson away from him, what are his options?
Right.
His options are Brees Hall up the middle, I guess. I mean, but that's it, Jeff, as far as I can tell. I mean, is
Hey,
there?
you don't have to scream. He can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. The microphone's working.
No, I mean, they've earned their 0-5. There's no question. They've earned every bit of that.
What does Malcolm Roach coming off the IR for Denver mean?
Well, if he played, I'm assuming he looked pretty good today. So I got to believe they did this with the intent of him at least getting some snaps Sunday. But, he's their only true nose tackle. So I think it does help them in some of their run fits, where they've gotten stung a little bit from time to time this year since he got hurt. So I think that's the biggest thing. It makes them more physical up front, and it gives them even more ability to play some of those nickel and dime packages on some rundowns if they'd like, to match up a little better, because he's a little more physical in the middle.
What do we know about Ben Powers' bicep injury? Did he tear it? Do we know?
I've been told he tore it, and I've reported it that way, and he's had surgery to repair it already. And
is that not season ending?
Well, I put in a story, and previous players, it's been season ending, but behind the scenes, Sean Payton won't say anything regarding the timetable, but I've been told behind the scenes that the best case scenario is sort of a 2-month recovery. But look, I was absent the day they medicine at medical school, but I've never heard of that, but that doesn't mean it couldn't happen.
Yeah, it's one thing for a wide receiver or something to come back from a bicep and
Or
injury.
quarterback Elway tore his, right, in that one Super Bowl year.
Well, there you go. I guess I wouldn't think that would be easy, but I would think for an offensive lineman that'd be insanely difficult. All the wrestling that we're doing in there. So are we thinking Matt Pert is the guy that's filling in?
That's the way they lined up in camp, and that's the way they have done it when they've tried to give people reps there when Powers wasn't in practice, or they were rotating guys in. It was Pert. So I'm until I see otherwise, I think that will be the move.
How familiar were you with Sean Payton's career at Leicester Panthers football when he was at 23 years of age over there in England?
I mean, I know of that league, and I knew he had played in it. And I've actually spoken to some people in Leicester. I'm still trying to locate somebody who was around the team when Peyton was there, but not successful yet. But I'm on the case.
Well, tell us about the league and what the hell was it? And does that league even?
Yeah, it still exists. It's like a tier 2 or tier 3. I mean, that was a very early version of American football in Europe. At the time, they had rules of only 4 American players per team. There was a lot of teams northern in the country, not so much London, but Leicester, Birmingham, England, and some other places had teams. It was the British American Football Association, I believe, was the name of the league. But,
okay.
And they actually had relegations in that league. So if you finished too far to the bottom, you went to even a tier below.
I can't believe there were that many teams. That's
well, I mean, you're not talking about full-time employees. These were guys with jobs during the day who would drive up to practice in their plumber van or whatever they were doing. So I mean, that's the kind of league he was in. And Sean actually Peyton made a joke today about, once they told him he was done there, he knew he was done, like he was going to be a coach. But
I think when they made you an offer there, you might be figured out you were done.
Well, he said, but they even gave him a little signing bonus. And when he saw it go into his checking account, he figured he better come over and actually play. But he actually was a player coach. He said the American guys had to coach during practice a little bit too. So
but that
it must have been quite.
It sounds like that was kind of a good thing for him because he was thinking about getting to coaching anyway. Like this was kind of actually for him made sense, I guess, at 23.
Yeah, but I mean the American guys made the practice plans and everything for the team. So
That's
crazy.
wild.
I think that's pretty funny.
So is Jeff Legwold going to get any tourist time? Is he going to go down to or up? I don't know which way to London, or are you going to go over to Liverpool and see Eleanor Rigby's grave? I mean, you got any plans like that?
I have not made any yet, but we'll see. Hopefully Saturday shapes up to be a little bit of adventure time.
Hey, the Winston Churchill Museum in London is fantastic.
I did actually go to that last time the Broncos were here. So yeah,
It's unbelievable.
That was
isn't it?
cool. It is. I mean, some of it, it's in the exact state it was in 1945. I mean, It's unbelievable.
What last one for me. What can you compare this to compared to Greenbrier? Is this really ye old Greenbrier? Greenbrier Part 2? The original Greenbrier?
I think it's probably, like Greenbrier was in the League of Castles and got relegated. Maybe that's the way it went. I think this is a little more old school. Here's some built of humongous stones and things. So
you probably got some ghosts and stuff running around that place.
Probably not as many as the Greenbrier if you talk to some of the people with the Broncos.
In terms of like a bonding sort of team, though, thing, it sounds like Sean was dying to have this moment, though, that he feels this is really an important part of the season.
He thinks those are epically important, and I can't imagine they won't have some kind of trip every year during the regular season, however they put it together. Whether it's playing an international game or going to the Greenbrier again between 2 East Coast games. the way he talks about it every time, I find it hard to believe he won't try to find a way to do one every season.